Hello everyone, hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going on to Bitcoin, the CoinsKid cruise. So Bitcoin has done incredibly well, hasn't it? Look at Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin on the chart right now. Look at that beautiful move. So like I said to you on the 4-hourly time frame in a recent video, there's a chance here that we're bottoming in some kind of ABC correction. We bottom down there. Look at the three white soldiers, beautiful candlestick formation. If you are building any longs or spot positions, this is where you have your stop loss to negate the trade. Came back a little bit, held its support, got above the ribbon, boom, 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 and it's broken out. And look at that, it's took out that all-time high just there. And right now we're in price discovery. So again, the only thing we can do going forward, and I'm going to go through all this with you, is really simply from this point right now, we just have to relax, okay, wait for the data to stack up the bearish signals, which I'll relay to you in today's video that I'm looking for. And obviously most importantly is the price structure. So what is the price structure? So if we go back to the daily time frame, for those people that have been on the channel, they will remember how bearish I got on Bitcoin at this point. Okay, you see this point coming up here, this was called a rising wedge basically, and we traded this. For anyone in the channel will remember that I traded this, and this is where I did flip incredibly bearish on Bitcoin at that high just there, the third point of contact. I said to you, I'm expecting us to break down here and then we'll come down to this technical target just there. We did exactly that, and then we got the flush down to this low here, which is where we was bidding on Bitcoin, held a double bottom, and then it broke out again. So this was a beautiful trade. That was a topping signal, and you know, it's a corrective pattern. It's basically a rising wedge where you run out of steam. Third point contact, boom, you drop. Look at that, like an absolute stone. Technical target, Matt. It was on all the thumbnails at that time. Okay, 64k to 28k was my targets, and it played out like an absolute boss. So if we move to the right now, you know, the reason I'm looking at price structure to give us a guide. Okay, we're bearish. I just don't see any bearish price structure at the moment, other than potentially on the daily we are creating a whopping bearish divergence at the moment, where we do have one high, second high, and right now we're making a higher high, but we are creating a monster bearish divergence. So you know, in time, if we do start to see another channel like this, do something like this, and you do that, then boom, you've got your rising wedge, which is a bearish pattern. At that point, okay, we're relaying the bearish pattern to you. Third point contact and drop would be absolutely amazing. It could indicate that that is actually the top of the run right there for Bitcoin. If we take a look at back in time at this particular rising wedge to accompany this rising wedge, we equally had a bearish divergence. Look at that. So again, I can't call it. I'm waiting for the structure to play out, and at that point, you know, I'm looking for the bearish structure as well as many other data points to flip bearish on Bitcoin. But at the minute, like I said to you, I just don't see any reason to be overly bearish on Bitcoin, other than the fact that okay, you're coming up, you're breaking out, and anyone can turn around and say this tops in, the tops in, the tops in every other day and every other week. But we do need to see more data, you know, a bearish price structure, a bearish pattern, potentially a head and shoulders or a rising wedge or whatever, any kind of bearish reversal structure right there with accompanied bearish divergence. So stay tuned for that. Okay, this is why you got to stay with the content, stick with the Discord, get involved, because obviously things happen in real time. So I'll keep you updated as best I can, but at the moment I just don't see any overly, you know, bearish structure here for Bitcoin going forward. But I think in time it will come, and obviously for those people that are aware, once we have the rug pull, once we have that rug pull and we have a rollover, at some point we roll, this low down here is a huge, massive, one of the biggest opportunities you'll have in altcoins, because at that point you've got to buy everything. You've got to buy every single altcoin, because this will come up, make the lower high, roll into the bear, and this here is where you have your alt season, where alts go absolutely berserk. Okay, so stay tuned for that, because at the moment Bitcoin is giving us a clue that we are on the cusp of a major alt season here, and I've gone through this with you in so many charts. So far so good. You know, Bitcoin breaking out 100k into price discovery. The only thing we can do to give us guides to exactly where it's going to go and run into resistance and things like that is look at Fibonacci, okay, and obviously some indicators I've created for the CoinsKid crew. So let me go through those indicators right now. But if you are looking for a trade today, I think it's a little bit risky to enter Bitcoin on the micro, because you've come up so much, you've got a huge overextension to the upside, possibly some kind of bull pennant, so you need to wait for the break before you jump into any more longs. But if you jump into a long at this point right now, this could be an ABC, so it's coming down like an A, a B, and it drops into a C back down to this neckline. You're building longs there, you're going to get stopped out, you're going to lose money, you're going to get liquidated. What you should have been doing is on the 4-hourly time frame, which I relayed into the previous video, is way back down here, building some positions, putting your stops on the pivot low to negate the trade. It was a very minimal risk trade. This is a risky trade right now. Now I'm not saying that Bitcoin can't do something like that and continue, but what you want to do is wait for the break of this potential bull pennant if it's forming it, and then jump into the trade, because you're getting a continuation without buying an ABC. Do you understand? Really simple. So stay tuned for that particular update in the Discord. But I'm going to go through right now what we're looking for in multiple charts to indicate the top for Bitcoin and the potential targets that I see for Bitcoin. But so far so good. boom, we've absolutely crushed this market, and so far we are absolutely smashing these altcoins in this crypto market, and lots of people are making so much money. Let me just show you a couple of messages that I've been given recently by the CoinsKid crew. Okay, so Dan from the CoinsKid crew, he posted today, thanks CoinsKid for this trade, never before have I been in this position, so much appreciated. He's currently doing really well on the Jasmy trade that I posted in the Discord right there in the altcoin section. I posted that a few weeks ago, and so far that's doing incredibly well for myself and the CoinsKid crew right there. And I just replied, no probs dude, you got off your bum and joined, and now you reap the rewards. Really, really simple. So like I said to you, I can't make a million videos, okay, and I think the opportunities are in these altcoins, so it's just easy for me to get the altcoin posts out in the Discord. It takes me a minute to do that than creating multiple videos for yourselves right there. So basically this guy Rock NFT replied, I second this mate, currently 18k up on that Jasmy trade, thank you for the shout out CoinsKid crew, CoinsKid right there. So basically there's another guy, he sent me a message just there, hi Tom, after being in a crypto DGen for the last 5 years, I lost a huge amount of money, went into severe debt, lost my family, and had to go through an IVA process. Really sorry to hear that. 1 month ago, I had £350 left in my portfolio when my friend recommended you. Since then, as it stands, I now have a crypto portfolio worth $80,000 in just 2 weeks. I can now take my kids away on holiday and rebuild from a great base. Cannot thank you enough for your guidance. It always pays dividends to pay attention to what you are saying. Thank you. I'm UK based and I owe you a few beers. I'm trying to cut down on the beers, to be honest with you, mate. But yeah, I love messages like that, and I'm so grateful that people tune in and follow and they pay attention to what I'm saying. Okay, so that's all it's about. Just pay attention, have your stop losses, have the invalidation, don't be a degen, and you can make money in this space. And I would highly advise, and I've been saying it for many years right now, get involved in the CoinsKid crew Discord right there, because there's so many opportunities. As Bitcoin's doing this and coming up, there are so many opportunities in the altcoins going forward. So let's dive into some charts right now to see what we can see going forward. Okay, so the first indicator, I've created a series of indicators in the indicator section for you. We've got the flip indicator, the buy and sell indicator, they're on trading view, sell the effing rip, buy the effing dip, cycle waves, retail top, and obviously the Bitcoin Pi cycle top indicator here. So basically what we've got, whenever this green line crosses a red line, that is it. Typically this cycle here, we had a double top scenario. There was one top, bear market, another top, bear market, and then we had a top here as well in 2017 where these cross. Basically the moving average, which is a 111-day MA, and the 350 DMA times 2, whenever they cross like that, a golden cross, then the top's always been in. It was in here as well in 2021, right on cue in, I think it was around about March, April time, wasn't it, that we created that cross right there. And again, Bitcoin rolled from that, lost that green line, and when it did, it entered that huge correction. So going forward, this is an historical data point called the Pi cycle top that is called 2 tops there, 1 top there, and another top there. So again, should we just kick back, relax, and wait for this indicator to play through again, that when we get the golden cross, that could be an exit strategy right there. Really simple. So you can get this on coinskid.com, go to the indicators section, Bitcoin Pi cycle top. So what we're looking for is basically a run to that red line, escape the red line. So you should in theory be looking for Bitcoin to break above 125k. So we'll look at the fibs to see if that's a possible scenario in a moment, and then break it, and at that point you go in exponential, you go in vertical, then you begin to roll over and you're creating the golden cross, and then we see that huge beautiful alt season right there. So let me show you another indicator that I've created for yourselves going forward. Okay, so the other indicator again on coinskid.com is sell the effing rip. I'm looking for this green line to sort of come up, tag this red line, and that at that point as well, I think, to get out a crypto card for Bitcoin right there, and we'll look for the alt season after that. But you can clearly see, look at that, tagged it in April of 2021. That's when the correction began for Bitcoin, in my opinion. And again, we tagged it in December 2017, we tagged it there in 2013, late 2013, and then in early 2013. So that led to that huge crash, and that led to that huge crash. So anytime we get above this red line for this indicator, where basically whenever you see the green line go above the red dotted line into the rip zone, you sell your Bitcoin and run for the hills, basically. So every single time it's done it, you sell it, you try and find the bottom and buy it, you sell it, you try and find the bottom and buy it, you sell it, try and find the bottom and buy it, you sell it, try and find the bottom and buy it. And this is what I'm looking at right now. If we tag that red line, kick back, relax, and it just means, okay, we've got a trigger point for the data stacking up, saying, okay, Bitcoin's cooked. If it goes beyond that, okay, we're in a brand new realm and some kind of new paradigm for Bitcoin where data's out the window. And I hope that that is the case. I really do. I hope that these data points I've created for themselves gets broken. I really do hope that, because at that point then we are truly in price discovery. Fibs, data, historical patterns and historical cycles are completely out the window. But until that day comes, all I'm doing is relaying what I've been relaying to you for many years, is data. Really, really simple, okay? So again, a lot of people say, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 and all this, but it's just data, and this is what's got us here so far, is the data, not he said, she says, or emotion. It's data, okay? So again, this is STFR, sell the effing rip. I'm just looking for this to break, come up to the red line. If it does that and we start to be, see Bitcoin going exponential in holding structure and looking impulsive and things like that, then there's no reason why we can't anticipate that it'll do that again. But again, if it starts to break out and absolutely goes insane and vertical, then we are in a brand new paradigm at that point, okay? So stay tuned for that. What's the other indicator I'm looking at right now? So I'll show you in the charts what I'm looking at for Bitcoin that again could spell the end, okay? It's really simple. It's on the monthly RSI. So on the monthly time frame, there's a very interesting trend line, and this is a trend line that was showing you as confluenced my analysis way back when in November, late 2022. Why I'm buying it. I'm not crying, I'm buying. I made many videos on it, and I've shown you many times in the charts. We've got a beautiful neckline down here where we come into the buy zone. Equally, we've got a beautiful neckline here on the monthly RSI where we come into the sell zone, and right now we are fastly approaching that. So we've took that pivot point out right now, and if we continue to show here and start to come up, I'm keeping an eye on that neckline for you, okay? Because, historically, this impulse here in April and May of 2021, what happened? We rolled into that correction that came back down into the buy zone. Just there in 2017, in December, we hit the neckline and boom, we rolled into the buy zone once more. Just there, we rolled into the buy zone at that particular point as well. So this neckline is support, which is an opportunity. And this neckline here, so far, historically, has been resistance where, it's a trigger point to get out of Bitcoin. So we need to keep an eye on that. Now, there's one thing I'm looking for here to get extremely bullish, and, I'll join the rest of the Moon crowd and the Laser Eyes and Michael Saylor and people like that calling for 5, 6, 1 million, target right there. I'll be looking at that, and I think there'll be confluence and data to that particular scenario if we see one thing on the monthly time frame, and it's really, really simple, and no one's looking at it. So at the moment, I'm just respecting the data. If we get up there, tag it. It's an opportunity, a trigger point for Bitcoin to roll into a crash and correction. But if it does one thing, really, really simple, then we've escaped the cycle, in my opinion. It could be a warning shot to the the correction not actually coming in and Bitcoin's going exponential. It could be as simple as taking out that pivot point high there, because historically at the top of every single impulse, Bitcoin's not done it. It's always made a lower high on the RSI, just there, lower high in the monthly RSI, just there. It's continuing making these lower highs, which is basically a monster monthly bearish divergence that it needs to escape. Now, does it escape here on this impulse? I would love to tell you that it's 100% going to escape it, but I can't. And anybody telling you that it is talking out their absolute bumhole. But I think it's a trigger point. We need to pay attention that if we start to see Bitcoin on the monthly time frame, and I need to get this absolutely knob on for you, if we do start to see it escaping 91.73 on the monthly, we've escaped a monster bearish divergence which has led to these pullbacks, and we may be escaping the cycles basically going forward. So 91.73 on the monthly time frame, if Bitcoin right now escapes it, then we're in a new paradigm, and that's the first clue that I can give you to we're not going to roll into big crashes and corrections and so on and so forth, and we truly are breaking out, and at that point Bitcoin really is in price discovery and it's potentially unchartable. But until that day comes, I'm just relaying the data to you that there is a warning shot, that as we fastly approach this with a monster bearish divergence forming, this is typically where we do start to correct for Bitcoin. So we'll keep an eye on it. If we escape it and take out that key pivot point 91.73, is it? Let me relay that to you. So 91.73, we start to see Bitcoin on the monthly time frame taking out 91.73 on the monthly RSI. It's unchartable at that point. So going forward, let me show you the CKR indicator that I've created for the CoinsKid crew as well. The currently CKR is doing really, really well, currently pushing up at 79. It was only recently at the bottom of this correction I did relay to sitting in the golden buy zone. Beautiful opportunity right there, and we're pushing right out right now, so we're doing incredibly well. CKR pushing 79. Now I'm looking for this to get really overextended towards a 90 plus level, and equally the AI. Okay, AI is currently sitting in a sweet spot, which again, this is the altcoins. So right now you've got Bitcoin, which is beginning to look a little bit overextended on the macro, and we've got the altcoins that are beginning to push up as represented in the AI indicator, which is a custom indicator that created using a special algorithm and AI, basically ChatGPT, which takes all the emotion out of the market. It just looks at structural data going forward and gives us a score, and that's exactly what that is right now, 64, which is the opportunity in altcoins. So far so good. Again, if we take a look at the previous cycle, just CKR hit 99 way back there. I think it was March the 18th when Bitcoin was beginning to top right there, and that big impulsive move before the big crash and correction, with the confluence as well as obviously the pi cycle top at that particular time frame. So let me dive into the Bitcoin chart right now in the current time frame, look at some fibs and things like that. But going forward, there's many little indicators and signals and things that I'm relying on, but most importantly, obviously, structure is boss. CKR currently sits at 79, gets above 90, squeaky bum time for the top. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin price action right now, okay? So looking Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, I did relay to you many weeks ago in October, look, the CoinsKid ribbon flip green, look at that, and equally we're getting the close of a 20 EMA, just like we did way back there in, I think it was January, wasn't it, 2023 right there. I said to you that's a very bullish statement, got perfect double bottom down there, sending triangle, broke out, and boom, you know, we've been exponential ever since, and we've got this beautiful impulsive move, which I said to you, we should see come up in 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, look at that. So I actually think right now this is the last leg, okay, and we've got lots of confidence across many other charts with, you know, the likes of the altcoins and things like that are busting a move. So I do think potentially what we've got in front of us is a massive alt season, but it won't start to come, the big alt season where we do start to see a lot of, you know, the verticals in VeChain and Chainlink and XRP and things like that. I don't think it'll come until we start to do something like what we did there. You know, we start to fall through this ribbon and the lifeline indicator from this point. So at the moment, what I'm looking for is a loss of a 20, which is a 20-week EMA on the weekly time frame, and the lifeline indicator. Something like this, where this is going exponential. We have found a little bit of resistance on the 1.272 as anticipated, gone sideways, allowed the altcoins to catch up the parter, and boom, we're pushing through. So the next level resistance is the 1414 at 118k, and then my primary target right now is the 1.618 around about 158k. Now what happens at that point, because this is exactly the point in which we rolled into this crash and correction, so that's a very key pivot point for me going forward. The 1.618 around about 158k, what happens, is that the actual top for Bitcoin? There's all a chance that it actually could be, because the previous last impulse, if we take a look, it nailed the 1.618 before losing the lifeline and rolling into that irregular expanded flat correction just there, okay? So we keep an eye on that. I'm looking at around about 158,468 for Bitcoin to run into that. At that point, we're looking at a very rinse repeat scenario. You start to fall through the lifeline. At this point, you get the retracement, which is your alt season. Look at that, you know, very similar situation. So if we start to do something like this, come up like that, and then we roll and we start to lose this lifeline indicator, there will be your alt season, okay? But so far so good. We're just kicking back, relax, and waiting for the data to stack up that indicates the top. But the targets at the moment, we have ran into the 1.272 as anticipated. That was a minimal target I was giving you way back there. We're going sideways. The next target is the 1414 at 118k. The target after that, the 1.618, which is where we rolled into that crash just there, is $158,000. If we start to do what we did there, we start to roll over, go sideways, create the bearish rising channel, and then fall through the lifeline. Okay, we're cooked. Rinse repeat on Crypto Street. But at that point, if I drop the total 2 chart in for you, you can clearly see there was a massive, huge opportunity on altcoins at this point. Look, and this is what I'm looking for. So I've gone through this with you before. There's your top for Bitcoin on the 1.618. A, B, what was altcoins doing? Going absolutely berserk in an alt season as Bitcoin fell through the lifeline, okay? So I'll keep you updated as best I can, but this is what I'm looking for. From here, it's going exponential, going vertical, starts to fall sideways through the lifeline. You come down, your B wave high is where you see your alt season going absolutely berserk right there. So stay tuned. Hope you enjoyed that update. Stay up, stay tuned. Take care, everyone. Back to another update on Bitcoin. Bye-bye.